Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome to the post Mayhem at the Multiplex edition of Around the League with Nico. I'm your host, as usual, the Cosmic Nightfury, Nico Suave Regoli, and I'm joined by two people who competed at Mayhem at the Multiplex yesterday and this morning because the internet hates us when we try to upload things on time. But anyway, getting down to business. First, let me introduce you to, he made his official, I think, overall trivia debut, let alone sports battlefield debut yesterday in part 2. Ladies and gentlemen, the Raptor Master, Jonathan Peck. How are you today, sir?
Very good, Nico. Very good. Well, not to say like official trivia debut of online ever, if you want to count like, like Full Metal Trivia like that. This is the first time in the Multiplex Entertainment right here, though. So,
I thought that yesterday was your official debut overall, but hey, promotional debut, I'll take it. Welcome to Multiplex. We're very happy to have you.
Thank you.
And also with us, you saw him compete for 2 titles yesterday, the movie Warzone Championship and the Fandom Fight Championship. He walked out. Ladies and gentlemen, your new Fandom Fight Champion of the world, the Hobbit, Robert Parker. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing good. That feels good to finally hear. I've been waiting for that for a while.
Yes. We have pretty much. You were pretty much the uncrowned champion in a lot of people's minds, and yesterday you finally got the crown. So just tell us how does it feel right now to be the champion?
It's good. It's something that walking in, I was very confident. Just not to say that Alex isn't a good competitor, because Alex is an incredible competitor. Him and I have faced so many times, and I have so much respect for him. But I knew that my knowledge was maybe a little bit broader than his was. So walking in, I was confident, and I knew walking out that I put on a good show. I may not have had the perfect percentages. I may not have had a perfect score or anything like that, but I did the job, and that's what matters.
All right, and we are going to talk about both of your matches in depth later on in the show. But first, before we can get to the actual events of what happened in Mayhem at the Multiplex, we have 3 regular matches from earlier this week that we need to talk about. That kind of one of them setting the scene for a match that we would see at Mayhem at the Multiplex. So first, let's get to movie Warzone Monday. We had Michael the Candyman Campbell, that's a new nickname for him, taking on A New Hope, Cody Newberry, in a match that definitely didn't go the way I thought it was going to. No offense to Cody, but Michael Campbell, he is one half of the current Worldwide Movie Trivia Team Champions with Big Picture. And I thought that he just had some bad luck in his play-in match and that this would be his redemption. But somehow Cody Newberry just got 1 question correct more than Michael Campbell, and it's pretty much cemented the victory for Newberry. And now Michael Campbell is going to be taking on me in November. Who would have thought that? But let's get your thoughts on this match. Robert, let's go to you first.
Sure. So different to you, I actually had lots of hope and faith in Cody. Cody, I think, is a really underrated player. He'll admit that he is never going to be out there getting perfect scores or anything like that, but that doesn't mean that he can't win matches, depending on who he's against, depending on how the questions fall out, depending on how the categories fall out. There's a lot of luck that goes into this game, and I think that Cody, not only did he get a little bit lucky, but he also just proved that he knew the game a little bit better. I think Michael got a little bit unlucky, but in general, I think Cody really proved himself in this match that he is not a pushover. He's not some schlub. He knows some trivia.
And Jonathan, what were your thoughts on that match?
Same thing with Robert. Cody's a no pushover at all. He's an underrated fighter on this league right here. Same thing with Michael Campbell a bit right here. But there are 1 or 2 questions that Michael couldn't get in his favor in his view right here. So even though Michael won the match right here, even if he got the answers right here, though, I think Cody could have pulled it off right here, though. But no, that's not knock on Michael or anything else. I think Michael put up a very good game right here. But overall gameplay, I think Cody did a great job on that. Even he didn't win for the most part.
You both are definitely right. They both put up great scores for this match. My mind is just you're the reigning team champion. So my thought is the betting odds are in your favor. And so just the fact that Cody pulled it out was surprising to me because of who I had listed as the favorite. But now Cody will definitely be getting some more respect from me moving forward. Not that I wasn't showing any respect to him before. It's just, betting favorite was going with who I thought was going to win. And Michael Campbell, as I also mentioned, he is now playing me in November. So first I'll pose these questions to you. Who do you think Cody should play next? And how do you think the match between myself and Michael Campbell will play out? I will not fault you if you say I am going to lose wholeheartedly. Jonathan, you first.
You mean your future match or Cody Newberry's future competitor?
Both. Whichever one you want to do first.
Okay. First off, it's gonna be your match. I think will be close, but I don't think you will win. That's my first thought on it. So.
You're giving me way too much credit.
Well, no offense, Nico, but I think it will be a close match right here. But overall, I think Michael might win that match right here, though. And as for Cody, I don't know which player he should face against right here. I have two in mind, but maybe he just not say a bigger enough player than him, but I always thought not. I think Dominic. I think it might be a perfect foil to Cody around here, though. I think it might be a perfect foil of him right here, and also same thing with Jim. Same time though.
Well, chances are that at least in terms of like similar records, I feel like maybe Dan Skip Allen might be the next person Cody Newberry gets put up against. But Robert, what are your thoughts? And let me just remind both of you that this is the division where you can say that I'm going to lose every time, and I won't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I agree with Jonathan in the fact that I do think Michael is going to beat you in November. It's not against you. I just think he is a little bit more well-rounded of a trivia player in Warzone. And as for who Cody should play next, I'm in Cody's corner for whoever he goes up against next. I think he could go against any of the one-on-one players from the tournament. Even some of the 1-0 players who made it into the tournament. Maybe somebody like Malcolm, or there's lots of different people. Jake Marangoni is 1-1, I think, in this league. And then Dan Allen, who's also now 1-0. Or sorry, Dan Allen is now 1-1, so that'd be a good test too. There's a lot of different paths that this could go. Cody being 1-0 now. There's 1-1 competitors. There's 1-0 competitors. There's 0-1 competitors who was a close match and they played really well. So I threw out a couple names. There's a couple more I could see happening, and I wouldn't be surprised what happens next.
All right. Any other thoughts in terms of movie Warzone before we move on to TV Throwdown Tuesday?
I'm good.
We're good.
Jonathan? Okay. So now we move on to TV Throwdown Tuesday. We're getting away from the TV fandom play-ins and tournament stuff that we've been doing as of late because we have to crown an official #1 contender to challenge Harley Bork for the vacant TV Throwdown title that was left vacant by Chance the Cobra Ellison. That nickname still doesn't stick with me, but that's Kristen Harloff doesn't care about my opinion in terms of that. But yeah.
No mercy.
It was my boy Zadius Z-Man Smith taking on my nemesis Jim the Wolf Green. And the match was back and forth. Both these guys were going at it and then just came down to Terra Nova in the end. That is what cost Zadius the win. Jim Green, he moves on to face Harley Bork later in the week for the Throwdown Championship, which we'll discuss in just a few minutes. But, gentlemen, what were your thoughts on the match? Let me go to Robert first.
I never had any doubts with Jim. Zadius is a great guy, great competitor. He really does know his stuff. He proved that in this match. But Jim is fantastic. Jim, I am kind of sort of in a faction with him. Alpha Alliance, nobody really knows what's happening with that right now. Ryan still got his thing going on. It's falling apart over there a little bit. But I am still in the faction with Jim. I know his TV knowledge is very, very broad, and I was very confident with him going into this match, and he really proved why people should be confident in him to win.
That was the first mention of Alpha Alliance I have heard in months.
Yeah,
Alpha
Ryan's got some stuff going on there, but his team is facing my team in the Fandom team tournament coming up, so hopefully we can figure some stuff out then.
Yeah, you guys need some counseling. Jonathan, how about you?
Once again, same thing with Robert, though. I cannot underestimate Jim enough right here. I kind of know he's going to win, though, until the second round right here, because I can tell his eyes that he kind of know what he was doing right over here, though. And no offense to Thaddeus right here, but I think he was a very good competitor, good smart, but I don't think he's a little up there to other competitors like Jim and like other players themselves right here yet, though. Not saying he can't do it. I think he need a few matches to get up there with the rest of them.
That's a little weird to me, considering Thaddeus was 2-0 coming into this match.
Yeah, no, I know it's a bit weird to say that, but at the same time, like we've seen like every team ever starting 2-0 and started to fall off the last couple of games right here, though. So I don't not be surprised that is any 2-0 team starting to fall off right here, though. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Not to mention, Jim is also the current commissioner of the TV league, or at least Fandom TV.
Yep.
I use the term general manager because Tim is commissioner, and a commissioner within a commission. It seems weird.
Sure.
What about vice president?
Sure.
No. Do not give Jim that position. It will inflate his ego to unbearable heights. But okay. Any other thoughts?
Oh.
All right, let's move on to Sports Battlefield Wednesday. Michael Campbell coming back into the ring for the second time this week, taking on Lucas Schilbach in a battle of primetime Paulo Yama's teammates in various divisions and leagues. And again, things just did not go the way of Michael Campbell. He showed that he knows a lot of stuff in terms of whatever division he competes in. He's good in sports. He's good in movies, but it just seems like the luck is just not on his side. And Lucas Schilbach, he got one more question that he needed to know than Michael Campbell did, and that gave Lucas Schilbach the win. Lucas, I believe, now moves on to face Cody Newberry in a future Sports Battlefield match, whereas Michael Campbell moves on to face my teammate Matthew Rosa. So, gentlemen, Jonathan, I'll start with you. You having competed in Sports Battlefield, which we will discuss later on here tonight. Give us your thoughts on guys who you could potentially be facing in the future.
Well, I want to be surprised that if I got far enough, I would have faced Lucas or maybe Campbell right here. Even the other competitors that might face off against. Maybe I always want to battle like Matthew Rosa right here, though. There's something about him is like basically I could tell a little thrill in his eyes, and part of me is like just want to shut him up at what he's doing at right here, though. So just wanted to get the gleam of his eyes right here. So that's my thing about that. And as far as the master goes, I like the match. It's a bit slow for the most part, even though you guys are sort of starting off the sports battleground right here. It's sort of started a very slow idea, but once it gets going very good though, and I like the match. It's kind of very decent for the most part.
Again, chalk that up on the list of number of times people have said sports battleground instead of sports battlefield. It happens. Robert, how about you? What did you think of this match?
Yeah, echoing Jonathan quite exactly that this is a really interesting matchup. Sports Battlefield is such a young league that you don't really know who the stars are going to be yet. You don't really know who's going to just stand above the rest and be really good. And we saw obviously a winner and a loser in this match. But it's really interesting in such a new and young league to see certain people know certain things that you don't know that they would. You know, a lot of us, or most of us really, are really familiar with movies and each other's movie knowledge. But when you bring in something like sports or TV, you don't really know. Everything is an unknown, and that's what I think is most interesting about watching the sports battlefield and TV matches.
From what I've noticed in this division so far, it seems like that everybody has like 1 to 2, maybe 3 specific sports categories that they're good at, and then everything else is just kind of like, ooh, let's hope I get a piece of hay and not a needle. What, Jonathan? Yes.
I just want to tell you, I'm one of them, but we'll get there.
So, yeah, in terms of overall game, no one really stands out yet, but who knows? We might see a standout moving forward as season 1 continues. And, you know, it's just a matter of what's going to happen. We'll find out soon. But now, unless you guys have anything more to add, we can finally move into what we all came here for, and that's the Mayhem at the Multiplex discussion.
That's right.
All right. And we start off with, I don't know how we pulled this off.
I don't either.
The king,
and I was there.
I don't even know is this real. I don't know it's real.
Yeah,
depends on your definition of real.
Like, I haven't even seen, and I have access to the video library, and I haven't seen the unedited version, so I have no idea how we pulled this off. But
very carefully.
But yeah, it was the king versus the kid. Caleb Coho taking on a differently dressed version of Caleb Coho in a Fandom Fight exhibition. Yeah. Robert, I'm going to let you start first.
I don't even know what to say about this match. I was there hosting it, so that was fun. But it was a very interesting match to witness unfold. The bit of a dichotomy there, obviously. I was pulling for the kid to win the whole time, but I was not surprised that the king did. The king has some really, really good knowledge base. He's one of the more underrated players in the league. He obviously made it to the semifinals of the tournament, so that's a big deal. And I'm glad this was an exhibition match and it didn't actually count for anything.
Because then it would mean that...
It would still mean nothing, because then Caleb Coho would just have one more win and one more loss.
Okay, is there are there any like behind the scenes details that you can give us as to how this match was actually shot?
Do you know which day?
Oh, I was there for the entire filming. I don't remember which day it was filmed. I think this was actually the last match of the Mayhem that was filmed.
I believe you're right.
I think this was the last match, which I could be wrong there. Like I said, I don't know. I wasn't involved in all of them. But yeah, I think this was the last match that was filmed. This is definitely the hardest one to edit, so you gotta give a huge shout out to Kane for like actually pulling it off. Like, we did what we could while filming to make it like bearable to edit. But it's a huge shout out to Kane for being able to pull it off.
I can't wait to see how this turns out on the blooper reel.
So much. You will, trust me, we specifically made a lot of content that was cut out from that match that you will see at the end of the year in the blooper reel.
Oh, thank God. Thank
God. There was a lot of Benny Hill music playing through just like pictures of Caleb changing.
Oh, it's gonna be magnificent. By the way, your Dragon Ball Z line had me cracking up so much.
Find out next time. Oh, it's right now. Yeah. Still there, Nico?
But Jonathan, let's get to you. What are your thoughts on the match?
I don't know if this match existed after the minute the round starts. I just want to make that clear. Just really, I don't know if this sort of match existed, or maybe both of them, one of them playing just Andy Kaufman me, or some weird Mick Foley trick along with it. Like I don't get what is going on. Just really you're just there, basically. You're just there for the most part. Okay, got that out of the way. That's actually really a funny match actually around here, and Kale doing double duty right here. It's just so funny when you watch his personality changes very quickly though. All match, it's very good and very funny right here. And I don't know if the both personalities are in the tournament, I don't know what bracket's gonna get screwed over either way. So I just want to tell you it's a good match so far and I liked it.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna do another split personality thing. Like
God, Kane needs a break.
I will say that before Alex left, we had been talking about doing something with like the multiple personalities of Alex Warden and just having like the Wolverine and then Omega and then even Evolution. For those of you who remember that far back, just like if we were ever to have a free for all, we would basically just rip off the Mick Foley coming in his 3 different personalities in the Royal Rumble. But yeah, I don't know if like this was so perfect the way it played out. I don't know if we can ever do it again.
Kane needs like a year before he's recharged enough to edit that again.
Yeah. Let me ask a question for both of you. Do you have another personality in you?
Not really.
Early on in Multiplex, there was an idea of me creating like a Finstock character to my Tom Dagnino, like a character with a mask, and I was just going to sit in a dark room and eventually play against myself, but then we kind of abandoned it. And you know, probably for the best because this worked out as well as it did, and I don't know if I could have done it better.
Mm-hmm.
But now we move on to our first title match of the evening. It was the TV Throwdown Championship match between the general manager, Jim the Wolf El Lobo Green, and Harley Boric. And the match went kind of the way I expected it to if the number one contender scenario had played out this way. My thinking is that Harley has just been out of practice for a little while, and Jim, he's been staying active, and it showed. He was able to answer more questions. Harley, she got taken down in round 3 by the get a point, miss a point round. She was a victim of a rule that Jim is named after. And
I believe there's 2 names associated with that rule, I think.
And I was on the winning end of that rule, by the way.
It's the Jim and Nico rule.
Yes, I just want to state for the record that my name is on there because I won. So suck on that, Jim. But yes, so now Jim Green, his ego has every reason to be inflated because he is your new TV Throwdown champion of the world. Jonathan, let's go to you first. What are your thoughts on the match, and how do you think Jim Green will reign as champion?
You mean the biggest ego in the Lone Star State?
Yeah.
Yeah, not good from there. All right. Yeah. Okay. Same thing with you. This is the match I was sort of expecting to be 100% on, even though I was kind of rooting for Harley to win the match to begin with. And like you said yourself, it just sort of shows like he hasn't played a match for a while, and he started a little drop down a bit right here, emotional knowledge for the most part. As for Jim, though, like he kept on his game. He didn't sweat for the most part right here. Plays a very good competitor with Harley right here. So just want to say it's a very good title match. That's how much I don't want to say it. He deserves a title match right here. That's how much his ego grow bigger. And he won the match fair and square.
Robert, your thoughts?
Yeah, Nico, I think you hit the nail on the head. When we said that Harley is just a little bit out of practice, I don't think she's played since she played Chance for the belt, if I'm incorrect. Correct me, but I don't think she's played in TV since then, and that was a couple months ago. So it was really, I think, just a big case of ring rust. And I think Jim was really, really determined. I think he wanted a little bit more, and he definitely proved it in this match.
Okay, so now that brings up a question of, so we all know that the reason this belt was up for grabs was because Chance Ellison, he had to vacate the title because Schmodown, they do exclusive contracts. And so Chance was the champion for, I'd say, 140 plus days, but he never defended the title in his reign. What does Jim have to do to surpass Chance's legacy as the champion of that division? Does he have to defend the title more, or does he have to just hold it longer than Chance did?
It doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't matter if you hold it for a day, a month, or 10 years. If you never defend it once, if you never play for it again, holding it for one day is the same as holding it for a month, as the same as holding it for a year if you never defend it.
Yeah.
I think if Jim, in my opinion, and Chance is one of my best friends in this space, he and I have talked a lot. Like, this is not a dig against Chance as a champion whatsoever. He earned his spot. He was a champion. That's very legitimate. But the fact is, he never defended it. If Jim defends it once, I will hold Jim to be a more influential, better champ in this division than Chance was.
Jonathan.
Yeah, same thing. Like, it doesn't matter you hold it like a day, a month, a year, or even like for 3.5 years. I don't feel like you don't have to show anything that you're the best champ around, honestly, though. Like, even then you put your belt on the line, I think you can still be a great champ around here. Even then you don't have to throw your belt in there. So, yeah, that's my thought on that.
And I'm kind of with the same line of thinking as you guys. Me coming from a pro wrestling fan perspective, Brock Lesnar, he was the Universal Champion for close to 500 days, and he only defended the title 6 times, and that's counting house shows and pay-per-views and televised appearances alike. Meanwhile, Pete Dunne, he's been the United Kingdom champion for close to the same amount of times and has defended the belt on house shows, on the WWE network, on non-WWE shows for, I'd say, at least 50 times to 100 times. Lord knows how many times he's defended that title, but he's made that belt mean something with his numerous title defenses and his lengthy reign, whereas Brock, he held the title forever and he never defended it against anyone. So yes, more title defenses over the length of the reign matters, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now we get into, Jonathan, we get into your match. Yeah, let me just set the backstory. You took on Brooklyn Vale. This was basically the last match, the last inaugural match in Sports Battlefield, in which we get a sense of how all 10 competitors getting their feet wet in the division. This was your attempt to get your feet wet. And, it just seemed like, to me, both you and Brooklyn were getting some bad luck in terms of questions.
No shit.
Speaking as the UFC question writer, I'm amazed that neither of you got Donald Cowboy Cerrone. But then again, that just shows how much I know about that sport compared to most. But yeah, give us your thoughts on the match. How do you feel like you did? How do you feel Brooklyn did? And you're probably going to be playing Caleb Coho next. Nobody's really sure.
Tim kind of told me is like playing a silver with purple uniform, so I think it's sort of not say a done deal, but it's sort of like I'll just say it talks right here, sort of almost not yet official yet.
Okay, but in terms of the match, give us your thoughts on how you did against Brooklyn, how Brooklyn did against you. Are you proud of your performance? Do you feel like the questions were too hard, or like how do you feel you did?
Feel like did so far. I think I maybe the one thing I was kind of blaming myself was when I saw the footage, and it might be my fault that I went to our first round question as like I don't know tennis. Well, I should have kept my mouth shut. As like I don't know tennis along with it. Once I spin the wheel twice right here, went to opponent's choice. Brooklyn saw the opportunity and used tennis against me right here, and you can really tell by seeing the match. I was legit almost bombing in questions with tennis. It just flat out didn't work in my favor. And you know the funny thing about it is the first slice of the wheel of like spin the wheel, it was NBA, and I passed on it. When Brooklyn spin the wheel, it landed on NBA, and he didn't get the right questions either. So for the most part, I still his questions to answer it for halfway through, even though in my head it was like I don't know some of the questions right here. So mine just sort of shot in the dark, which turns out was actually very good than I known at the time. So and I was kind of rooting for maybe the NFL to show up because, as some people might know, I'm the biggest fan of the NFL. I was born and raised in Virginia, DC, DMV area. I'm a Skins fan. I'm a DC fan to the day I die. And also, I know any NFL's team history, including both of yours, if you have one. So that's deep in the NFL I can get around here. It just didn't get in my wheel, didn't get in my favor. That being said, though, I have a good time with my first match. I finally got to compete someone that's sort of like, I'd say top tier, not say Brooklyn is top tier, but it's like someone that's so well known, so I can tip my water into right here to see how it does right here. So, from my experience with the match right here, I did very good though. So, if my next match it is Caleb Coho, I can really tell that me and him is going to go round and round with that one. So I can really tell his mind says about sports right here kind of says everything. So that's my take on my own match so far.
And Robert.
Yeah, it was really interesting. It was really good to see Jonathan make his debut in Multiplex. It was good to see Brooklyn show up in Sports Battlefield particularly. I didn't really know. Once again, in Sports Battlefield particularly, you don't really know who's going to be great and who's not. You don't know whose strengths lie where. It's a lot of unknowns, and that's one of the things that makes it incredibly fun to watch. Brooklyn is a good friend of mine. I really didn't know what was going to happen. I thought either of these two players could have come out on top. It was a close match. It was a really fun match to watch, and I'm really glad that it happened at Mayhem.
Yeah. Brooklyn is someone who has struggled to find his footing in Multiplex since it officially started. I think he came out on the defeated end of one of the Fandom fight play-ins. I definitely remember that he and Ed Sale had some bad luck against you, Mr. Parker, in the Fandom fight teams division. And even in his own realm of jukebox trivia, he has struggled a bit. And we saw in the Fandom TV play-in that he did Firecrotch, hashtag Firecrotch. That answer will always stand out to me. But here, I know he's talked about Sports Battlefield being a place where he could shine. And, you know, he showed that in this match. Maybe not as much as he would have liked to. Granted, I'm kind of with him on the NCAA versus NBA questions. Yeah, that's a little, yeah. And
to jump on, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but to jump on in on that one, even after the match is over, he was sort of a little upset of that question. Though I heard he got a little or disagreement with Jim. So it's like the NCAA right here. Even I put some examples, like for example, like what college did Tom Brady go to? And it said Michigan, and even Brooklyn said that they should be at least his own category, like the NCAA right here, just a college placement around the league right here though. So even they put that question into NBA thing, which we all know the players are still playing the league though, but at the same time that was like sort of like, well, we do answer college questions, but some of them just don't go into the league we expected. So that was the thing.
Yeah, and having seen a lot of these Sports Battlefield question documents, I'm always like, I wouldn't go with that question whenever I see something related to a player's college background playing into the answer. Now, if the college background is part of the question, then it's like, what team did they play for professionally? Then I'm okay with it. But when it's like the reversal, it's usually iffy for me. So I see that Robert, he has to go do Rankum in a little bit, so let's speed up this conversation.
Okay, all right.
Yes, let's get to
Yes,
let's get to the match where he wins the Fandom fight.
And then not talk about the other one.
No, you did well in that one too, in my opinion. So anyway,
I did okay.
You took on Alex Warden in Fandom fight for the inaugural championship. This was a rematch from the semifinals of the tournament. Alex had to fight his way against Eli McKaig and Caleb Coho in an Ironman match to get this #1 contendership spot because, again, Chance left and he threw everything out of whack. But, yeah, this was your moment to shine. You pretty much trounced Alex in round 1. Round 2 went just as well for you. Round 3 was pretty much, I think, was either round 3 or 4 where Alex's fate was sealed.
3 was IMDb, and we both hit our first 2 and missed our last one. And then the 4th round was the deep cuts, which, both of us didn't do too hot in that one.
But yeah, you won. And now you've already said at the beginning, how does it feel to be the champion? But give us your thoughts on the match itself.
As far as the match in general, one thing I'll say is these were definitely championship level questions. These were tough. I had the lowest percentage correct in my Fandom career, which even with this match, I'm still like one of the top 2 as far as percentage in singles Fandom. So I'm still happy with that. Yeah, these are some tough ones, but I pulled a couple. In round 2, I ended up getting DC on my first spin, and out of pure primal fear for James Bond, I decided to stay with it. Did pretty well for myself. Had to go to multiple choice a couple times, but still got all those questions right. Other than that, the IMDb round was pretty fun. The deep cuts round, we got Man of Steel, which, if you know me, that's not a movie that I love very much. That's not a movie I revisit a whole lot.
Tell it to young kids.
Yeah. I've seen it a number of times, but not enough to remember those very, very specific details. But it's a deep cuts round. What can you do? So we still did okay. And then the betting round, I think I had enough of a lead there that I didn't need to bet crazy. And I ended up winning. Once again, Alex is an incredible competitor. I have so much respect for him personally and from a competitor standpoint. So it was an honor to finally win the belt and win it against him.
Jonathan, I'll get to you in a second, but first off, I just want to state, as long as Robert, your record is going to be your percentage in terms of accuracy is going to be fine unless you suffer like a traumatic brain injury that affects your memory.
Well, I only had like 42%, 43% accuracy in that title match. I mean, it brings my career accuracy down to like the 70-something, which is I'm still happy with, but it's not #1 anymore, and that I'm not happy with. So we'll wait till next time for me to get back up there.
And also, Cody Newberry is now managing you.
Yeah. So that's something that's been in the works for a while. Because I am much more of a face. I'm much more soft-spoken. Like I can come out and like talk smack and stuff like that. But I just have a lot of respect for most of the people I play. So I am not always the best trash talker. I more show what I can do in the ring instead of on the mic. So it's been in the works for a while, but we finally got it to happen. Cody Newberry is going to be representing me as sort of a Paul Heyman type manager role, helping me with some promos, helping me do some training. So I'm really happy with that partnership. I think it's going to help both of us a lot.
Man, I want to see some vignettes of Cody Newberry training you like Mick training Rocky. Jonathan, your thoughts?
My thoughts? Your match, Robert. You did a great job, actually. I gotta give you credit that you did a great job. You're holding your own against Alex, which I'm sort of a little sad he has to leave right here, though, and a little sad way to go out like that. I was a little sad and a little disappointed that he had to go out like that. That was just very disappointed about that. And Alex did a great job. He did his best around here. And Alex is a good competitor, even though I beat him once before back in a full metal match like a couple months ago right here. He is still a good competitor, and he will not stop doing it right over here. He is, like Nico said, I forgot which side of it was, but he's like one half as a Wolverine though, so he will not quit till he's finished getting it right. So a little sideways he had to go out there, but overall, congratulations, Robert, for getting a belt. And all I have to say, just good luck having Cody as your manager. Just want to say good luck with that.
I think we'll both handle each other pretty well, Cody and I.
External Void in the chat has a question for you, Robert. He asks, is Cody going to be your manager with all of the leagues?
As of right now, we're not really sure. There's some stuff in the works, both in other leagues and in Multiplex, as far as the end of the year is concerned. So there's some stuff in the works. As of right now, like where we are recording right now, no. But also Multiplex is kind of where I've housed myself recently as a competitor, that and Full Metal Geek. So not yet. Probably in the next couple weeks, we'll get it confirmed with everything. That's the end goal. That's the hope. But as of like us speaking right now, not yet.
Okay. And, External Void is, by the way, Richard Schwartz, who we will be talking about in the next match. But before we get to that next match, I just want to, if you guys could say like your favorite Alex Warden memory from his time in this community, if this is going to be the final time we see him for both the year and possibly for even longer, just like from any league, what is your favorite Alex Warden memory?
There's a lot that jump to mind for me. I have played him a number of times. I'm going to list two options, but I've played him in multiple Full Metal matches. I've played him in Worldwide Movie Trivia a number of times. I've played him, obviously, in Fandom fights now twice. I've played Alex in many different leagues in many different formats, and both of us have won some, both of us have lost some. The two that come to mind is first, I made my movie Battleground debut, my debating debut against him. And he ended up beating me on the last question, but we both went the distance with each other as far as debating movies. So not just straight up knowledge, but how we can express our views. So that was a lot of fun. And the second is being his opponent and being able to play him in his farewell match, at least for now. That's just, I'm honored that I was able to be his last opponent.
Jonathan.
Well, there are two crossing my mind. First off, I did play Alex Warren once before, like I mentioned a few times. A couple months ago before, it actually was sort of one of my very first trivia things ever back in Full Metal Trivia right here. It's sort of down to the final question. Just, I mean, we had to answer the Rotten Tomato score of the cable guy, and I was a legit close, and he was sort of way off, like 23% right here. I was like 54 like that. Even though I won the match, he'd give me a good compliment. It's like, get my head in the game, and I didn't even sweat even against you right here. So I have a very honor and privilege to play against him around that match a couple months ago. And my favorite Alex moment ever, I don't know, maybe Multiplex aired this match, or maybe like other matches they aired it. He's about to yell and says a little disclaimer right here. Check your headphones right over here. And he yells on it right over here, though. So almost broken the entire speakers right that. So that's my favorite Alex moment.
Alex and I, he was one of the first people to like take me in under his wing since I joined this community. When we were in the fan reaction leagues from long, long ago, he actually once temporarily banned me because I had not seen Die Hard at the time. And he was like, you're not allowed back in until you watch Die Hard. And I did. And then from then on, we established a rivalry in Jack of All Trivia in the wrestling division. And then he kind of took me in. I was the third member of the not the Bullet Club, the Omega Club, when it was turning from a tag team to a faction.
Blast from the past.
And he was there cheering me on as I faced JTH for the Wrestling Trivia Showdown Championship. And when I won, he screamed at the top of his lungs, yes, with so much passion and veracity and so much pride. We are brothers. We are brothers, and I'm close to him. I'm close to his fiance, Erin. She has been a great friend to me since I've joined this community. And, it's going to suck to see them go, to see Alex go on this hiatus. But, health comes first, and I hope that he gets his mind right and he's able to come back and perform and up to the level that we know he can live up to. But yeah, let's move on because we only got 15 minutes left before Robert has to skedaddle.
Okay.
So we move on to the first tournament match of the TV Throwdown Fandom tournament. It was Grant Gregory taking on Richard Schwartz. And my God, this match was close from bell to bell. Both these guys shown how well-rounded their knowledge is of various TV shows, various TV series, various TV universes. And it made me almost regret the amount of it almost made me regret the Facebook State of the Nightfury address that I did last week, because I'm like, oh God, this is my competition. I'm in trouble now. But yeah, they did phenomenal. It came down to the final question, which both of them got right. It was just one of them was more right. And Grant Gregory is moving on to face one of the Kings of Winter. Which one we'll find out soon. But yeah, Jonathan, let's get your thoughts first. What did you think about this match, and how much excited are you for the rest of the tournament moving forward?
Yeah, this is the match I had to watch like an hour or two ago, so I didn't get some of quick little reminder right here. All I can say is sort of like a great thing we might see in the future with the tournament around here, and the two fires itself. Even Richard's performances is very good though right here. I will give him that right here. Overall, it's a very good match right here, and very good TV questions right here. Even there was one which, like I tell you what it was, but even though it's I'll just say debatable with that one.
Robert.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so this was definitely, I mean, like I've been saying this whole around the league, when it comes to Sports Battlefield, so many people are unknowns. You never know who's got good, well-rounded knowledge and who doesn't. And both of these players came out of the gate swinging, trying to prove right off the bat that they have the knowledge that takes to continue in this tournament and to win the championship. So it's going to be really interesting to see both of these players continue. Both Grant and Richard, I think, really proved themselves. So I'm really excited to see who both of them end up playing next.
Now, the bracket in total is a mystery to a lot of people simply because Jim has not released it yet. But the reason why it has not been released yet is because, and I believe if all goes well, we will finally get to watch the Arrowverse Championship match this coming Tuesday between Zaddy Smith and Eli McKeag. Whoever wins that match will take the number 1 seed in the tournament. Whoever loses that match will take the number 2 seed in the tournament. They will get buys in the first round, and then you will get to see where everyone places in the tournament moving forward. But I can tell you, having seen the tournament, having seen the bracket, it is going to be an awesome tournament. We are going to get to see a lot of great matches coming up. And I look forward to performing in the tournament. I look forward to hopefully winning the tournament, because I am still sticking to that, even though I'm now a tiny bit more terrified. I want that title. But
watch your back.
Okay. It's weird coming from you because you're not in the tournament.
I know. Just watch your back for other competitors. Just saying.
Oh, I'm aware. Okay. Now we can finally get to the main event, which Robert Parker, you were also in. You were taking on one half of the Worldwide Movie Trivia Team Champions, the half that's had way much better luck in Multiplex Entertainment. Primetime, Paul Oyama, who is kind of on his way to becoming the new Chance Ellison in these fan leagues. And yeah, I'm going to let you speak first and just say how you feel this match went from your perspective.
Yeah, honestly, I am not that shooken up about this loss. It's Paul. I saw it coming. My point is, my whole thing in Warzone, in movie Warzone, was I'll try my best, I'll keep fighting, I'll do what I can. It was like kind of like Christian Harloff's run in the Schmodown last year. It was, I'm not gonna be upset if I lose. I'm just gonna keep trying. I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm still gonna study. But my focus has definitely been on fandom, and I think that's clear. Now, even with just the knowledge I had and the limited studying I've been doing, I was still able to make it to the finals of the tournament, and I think that's my biggest accomplishment. I'm just happy that I made it all the way to the finals, and it's Paul. I'm in good company as far as all the people who have lost to Paul. He won by TKO, but it was still a close match. I still put up a good score. I'm not all of the questions that I missed, I'm not mad that I missed. It's not like it was ones that I just couldn't pull or I knew, but I just couldn't think of at that moment. There was no questions like that. It was very much a match of I knew it or I didn't. And I tell you what, having to name a character off of a quote is brutal. That is brutal. But overall, it was a fun match. I enjoyed playing Paul. Him and I have been wanting to play each other one-on-one for a while, and I'm not surprised by the result.
And you also had to face your nemesis, which is IMDb.
I did. That's true. IMDb and character names have never been a strong suit. And the fact that there were whole rounds based on both of them, there was a whole IMDb round and a whole character and actor round based off of quote. The format was not in my favor, we'll say. That's not a dig against anybody who created the format, not a dig against anybody who wrote questions. It's just that's not a format that plays to my strengths at all, and it does play to Paul's. So,
now that said, you still have the second best record overall out of everyone in the division. So, am I right to assume that you will keep playing in movie Warzone?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 3-1 in that division. My 3 wins, 2 of them are TKOs. So I'm definitely not done in Warzone. I won't be surprised if I'm not involved. Maybe I'll have one more shot to try to get back on that championship run before the end of the year. But I wouldn't be surprised if people who are doing the schedule just hold me off until next season for Warzone either. I'm not done in that division by any means. I still think I can beat Paul if the questions and the luck and the format go my way. I think I could take the championship off of him. But that's not my focus right now.
Hey, if they're still willing to give me matches at 0-2, they're going to give you matches at 3-1. I promise you that. But Jonathan, your thoughts on the match?
My thoughts on the match? Yeah, gonna agree with what Robert is saying. Is Paul really? It is Paul. And speaking from my experience in my second match after my debut match back at Full Metal a couple months back, I had played Paul and I got eliminated on that match because of Paul. So, yeah, Paul does not want to mess around with people played or against with him, though. He means no business. Even some unpopular movie choices that he likes or dislikes right here, he knows his business very well, though. So, I wouldn't be surprised that he beat you, Robert, right here. No offense, Robert, but at the same time, right?
None taken. I knew he'd beat me too.
Same thing. Yeah. Overall, the match is very good so far. It's a good little back and forth right here. So, can't wait to see what Paul he has store for next.
Okay, and just one little stat. With this win, Paul Oyama is now the first person to hold 2 titles simultaneously in the same type of trivia genre, with the genre being general movies. Chance Ellison, he held 3 titles at once, but he held them in TV. He held them in and Inner Geekdom category, and he held the Worldwide Movie Trivia Singles. Whereas, and Jeremy Adams, he's held 2 titles as well, but he didn't hold them simultaneously. So Paul Oyama making history here with 2 belts in the same type of trivia genre. And, just to finish off our discussion, rate Mayhem at the Multiplex as a whole from like on a scale of 5 stars to nothing. How did our first event do?
I can go first. I thought this event was incredibly entertaining. I thought each division really represented why it deserved to be here. That all 3 championship matches were really well put together. The editing was all fantastic. The production value was all fantastic. The hype leading up to these matches was really great. I'm going to give it 4 3/4 stars, and that last quarter is just because I lost my second match, and that's just me being salty at myself. But I thought this event was incredible.
Jonathan.
Hold that thought.
Really?
Come on. Actually, you know what? No, screw that. Overall, it's a very good success right here. Like, I was kind of blaming myself around here. Just I couldn't get anything right here. But excluding that right here, though, it's a very great video matches right here, though. It's very great to see some personalities really excel right here. So overall, I'll give it a I don't know. Should I show you my score though? It might be offending either way.
Just say it out loud because Robert has to go in a moment.
A 6 out of 11.
A 6 out of 5. Okay. All right. And my score, I'm going to give it a 4.5 simply just to spite Tim and Jim because in every single match they had something mean to say about me because they're assholes. So, all right.
They're from Dallas at Texas. So, yeah, I was figuring those guys.
All right. This may be the last episode of Around the League with Nico. After that. So, let's get the plugs and let's get on out of here. And Robert, let's go to you first since you have to get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at RBRTPRKR98. That's my first and last name of vowels plus a year. You can find me doing my weekly podcast with my friend Zach Ford, where we talk about movies, music, and other pop culture nonsense. That's everywhere podcasts are listened to, called Fireside Chit Chat. That's the name of our podcast. And you can find me doing editing and hosting duties at Take 3 Productions, specifically every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we host Take 3's live watch-alongs. That's me, Linus, and Cody Newberry. We pick a movie every week, and we watch along live with you in the chat. So thank you very much for having me on, Nico. It was a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be the first Fandom single champion. And if it's okay with you, I'm going to duck out so I can go hit up Random.
Go for it.
All right, we'll see ya. And I'll be supporting the Packers this whole season. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural Fandom Fight champion here at Multiplex Entertainment, Robert the Hobbit Parker. And now, Jonathan Peck, where can the good people find you?
You can find me around like 2 various social medias around Instagram and Twitter at JPEG1098 around both of those social medias right here. I hope to get another match soon, maybe possibly with Caleb Coho or any other match of is it about to be TV or has to be movies or fandom in general right here. Overall, I have a good time with it so far, and I hope come back in the future. And P.S. Hell to the Skins.
And let's go Steelers. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nico Suave Regoli. That's NicoSuaveRegoli. And you can find me here at Multiplex Entertainment. That's the name of the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. The Twitter is at MultiplexYT. The Instagram is Multiplex Entertainment Network. The TeePublic, where I've made the Arrowverse Champions shirt, is just Multiplex. You can find me every Sunday at the most random times of the day hosting Around League with Nico here at Multiplex. And, of course, myself and Hunter Chambliss, we have a new podcast out every Saturday called The Week of Wrestling. We were supposed to have episode 3 drop yesterday, but unfortunately due to a rendering issue, we lost the audio. Shit happens. But we'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, Y'all have a great time. This has been Around the League. I'm Nico. That's Jonathan. And Robert Parker left, but we still love him. Thank you all. You have a great night.